First off, I'd like to start out by saying shout out to all my Jewish friends. I'm not the only one who was thinking this, as you can see by this post right here. So yeah, we're going to talk about it. All the Jewish people that were at the Knicks game sitting courtside. Now, I know that Adam Sandler is a real fan. I'm aware that Timothée Chalamet is a real fan. I'm definitely aware that Ben Stiller is a real fan, along with others. That's not the point of this video. The point of this is asking, why were there so many at the game? Where we know that most of the NBA players are predominantly black. It's just starting to look a little like ancient times, you know, back in Rome, where we used to have the Colosseum and they would have the great games at the Colosseum, and the only people that were invited in were those that were of power, royalty, family that was connected to the empire in some form or fashion. What's going on here is very similar. I think I might do this in another video, but I want to ask y'all, didn't that last game look a little strange? You know, where he was running down the court. A lot of people are saying that he should have just held the ball, but instead he took it all the way to the court. He could have just held the ball right here and ran the clock out and got fouled. Now, if some of y'all are really thinking that this was a real game, I don't know what to tell y'all. But you know what's really ironic too? Is that everybody who was in the crowd were all actors. They were all actors. And now it makes me wonder, was this a script? Was this whole NBA Finals really just a script? San Antonio up by nearly 30 points in the first half. And then all of a sudden, New York pulls off something that has never been done in the NBA. Not to mention the fact that they haven't won a championship since the birth of hip hop in New York. It's almost like a movie. It really is, man. And it was pretty Jewish. I gotta say, it was pretty Jewish. But watching the black players play on the court while all these older white Jewish men clap and cheer them on.
Baby, Knicks in 5, baby. Jalen Brunson, my God, baby. Matter of fact, OG, my God. OG.
You're now my guy, OG. You're now my top slave. No, I'm just kidding. No, not really.
Come on, it's the Knicks, baby. Knicks in 5, baby. Jalen Brunson.
Faces, Taylor Swift making another appearance. She was in Cleveland. Of course, Jerry Seinfeld, familiar faces courtside. Adam Sandler, and again, Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner as well. And Ben Stiller.
And like I said again, man, disclaimer, it's all good. We just have to point out the realism. Not to mention that a lot of Jewish people own real estate. And I'll go ahead and throw this fact in here too, that buying tickets to Madison Square Garden in Manhattan, may we also add, which is one of the most expensive cities in the world. Not just in America, but in the world. And as I was mentioning, buying tickets at Madison Square Garden is like owning a piece of real estate. I mean, didn't Spike Lee go up and say, even though I know he's not Jewish, but yeah, even Spike Lee went up and said that he put $500,000 on a ticket, where he could have put that on a down payment on a house. And speaking of real estate, let's not forget about the part where Ben Stiller walks into the arena at Madison Square Garden right by a homeless man and doesn't even notice that he's there. Now, I understand that this is New York City and this is a normal day in New York, but still, that he just walked right by him and didn't even care. Now, I understand he's excited and he's locked in and he's on his way to game 4, but this is pretty interesting. And that was the other question I was going to ask is, why was Tracy Morgan in this picture? We all probably come from Hebrew, Jewish descent. I think that's what it is that he found out that he has a relative who is Jewish. Did y'all hear that part too with Jerry Seinfeld where he was asked about Palestine and he said that it didn't exist? Shall we pull that up?
Oh, Jerry Seinfeld.
What up, Seinfeld? What up? Can we get a free Palestine? Can we get a free Palestine? Come on, give us one free Palestine.
It doesn't exist.
He got the clip. That's how you got to go viral. I like how Seinfeld just kind of shrugged it off, though. But, in fact, of course, we have to go and do our research. And, in fact, I did just search this. And, yes, Palestine does exist. You know, it's funny, too, because when I typed in boom, that was the first thing that came up. So, obviously, this has been a viral clip by Seinfeld that people are researching to make. Wait, does Palestine exist? I thought it did, or I've heard people on social media saying that it does. Larry David wearing earplugs made me definitely question. Sometimes when I go to NBA games, I feel that they're not loud enough. He was actually concerned with Madison Square Garden getting too loud.
As a Knicks fan, Finney, how was this game live?
Greatest game of my entire life. She's the greatest Nick charm of all time.
Finney, was this
some of your basketball?
Knicks in 5. Wow, this is crazy. Knicks are gonna beat the Spurs.
13 is the number, and the reason why is because of the 613 mitzvahs in the Torah. It is actually, though, the second most Jewish banner in MSG. The first most Jewish banner in MSG, Billy Joel, 150 most lifetime performances by an artist at the Garden.
I forgot that Billy Joel is Jewish. Now, a lot of it is starting to make sense. You know, somebody also made an interesting comment on another video I did where we were talking about Wu-Tang performing for the halftime show, and then all of a sudden New York comes back, which was, you know, pretty exciting, I must say. But we noticed that the TV stations did not air the Wu-Tang halftime performance at Game 4 of the NBA Finals with the Knicks versus Spurs. The NBA didn't air it, or NBC didn't air it. But somebody made a very interesting point where they said if it was Billy Joel at the Garden, you know they would have aired that. I couldn't agree more.
Do you like Jalen Brunson? Well, he married a nice Jewish girl, and they made a kid. So Jalen Brunson, he's got a Jewish kid.
Didn't know that. I didn't know Jalen Brunson married a Jewish woman. Oh, it's starting to make sense. Oh, man, the further we go down this rabbit hole, the more interesting it gets. It's starting to make sense.
Hall of Famer Amari Stoudemire. He ended up converting to Judaism. A big mazel's of the Jewish Knicks fans.
My mayor Muslim, my bagel's Jewish, my Christian Dior, Knicks.
I don't really see too many black kids anymore. Whereas like back in the days, like the Spike Lee movies and all that, you would see like a lot of black and Latino people in New York. Now it looks like I'm just seeing a bunch of white kids that could possibly be Jewish in the streets of New York. Now, yes, you do see a lot of the videos of all the people running in the streets and doing all that craziness, and they're all black. But look at the people that are just having fun celebrating. I don't really see too many black people in that crowd. Do y'all? Let's look for black people. Nope. And that looks like a cool watch party to be at.
Jalen Brunson.
Man, Tip heard around the world, I will say, though. But yeah, I don't see too many black kids in that crowd. Maybe that's Brooklyn. possibly Manhattan. But now I'm also wondering is that could there be a possibility that there is a conspiracy in this game or in this series? Could it be all for hype and ratings and money and real estate? Could it be? Because I feel that there were just too many of one culture or race or ethnicity that were at that courtside, with the exception of a few rich black people sprinkled in here and there. Because I know some of y'all gonna say, oh, well, Spike Lee was there. Well, Nas was there. Well, Fat Joe was there. Well, we're talking like 3 or 4 minorities out of all the Bloombergs and the Sandbergs and the Sandlers and the Steelers and the Seinfelds. Come on, man. Pay attention.